start off with our rubber mold casting, and once you have seen this being done, you'll understand why we call it rubber mold casting. I'm going to introduce you to Richard, who is in charge of the casting room, and he'll explain to you how we go from a model to a finished product as far as casting is concerned. Richard?
Well, we basically start off with an original model, and from this we make a master mold, which we cast as many pieces as we need to make a production mold, and then from that point we satisfy the customer's order as far as the amount of pieces that he needs. I can show you how we where we make the molds, and then do the casting and how that's performed. Start off with a set of rubber. This is not cured, and we need to, with the model, as many pieces as we can fit in the mold that would get put into this rubber mold, which we go then take and put into a frame such as this, and close this frame up and put it back in the vulcanizer, which is actually set at a certain degree, and then we squeeze this so that the rubber can cure and vulcanize and get the impression of the pieces that you are putting in. And that will cook for roughly around an hour. This is what it would look like after you vulcanize. So you'd have to set this all up in a mold. You might have to cut it in. There's different ways you put the pieces in the mold. And then once it's cured, then we go and we cut a channel in, and it goes out into the casting room, a centrifugal machine, which we pour metal, and then you end up with pieces like that, or whatever.
Let's show them how it's done.
Okay. Basically, this is the mold ready to go. And powder it to lubricate your rubber. Clamp that off very well. Just insert in this machine. Close the lid. And your metal from here, and just pour in, and then let that spin for so many seconds, and it forms the pieces that you need, and when they come out, something like that. When you're done, when we're done with the order, is that we are able to break these pieces off. And then this metal is recyclable and goes right back in the pot. This is all liquefied at a certain temperature that it has to melt, so we can pour it into form the casting.
Very good. Now, Rich, how hot is the metal?
We have different metals. We have mainly what we're casting now is lead-free metals, which is what most people would like to have, and that can be at anywhere between 550, 600 degrees, maybe a little hotter, depending on the type of piece that you're using to cast.
And are you always recycling metal?
For the most part, we try and keep a formulation of the gates you replenish, as well as virgin metal, so you keep a nice.
So you're using a combination of both?
Yes.
All right. If a customer wanted you just use the recycled metal, would you be able to do that?
We could do that, yes.
Thank you. This is a very good sample of what we do in terms of our rubber mold casting pieces. What's nice about it is that you get a nice quality to it, and it's not as expensive as a die cast piece or a stamped piece, because the rubber molds, the actual mold itself, is a lot less expensive. These molds are $200 or less, whereas the same piece in a die struck piece would be $400 or $500 or more. This is a fine example of a rubber mold piece, and what we've done is that we designed it in such a way that we can inlay rhinestones into it. And in this case, we attached a little finding to it, so now it can be put onto a cell phone, and we had the whole thing packaged onto what we call a romance card. which explains the purpose of the particular piece. It's a great way to market an item. Again, here is a rubber mold piece with an antique gold finish to it. And we're able to put designs on both front and back. This is another example of a rubber mold piece. What's nice about it, you got a lot of size to it, you got a lot of pizzazz, and it again is not that expensive.